Some of this down, our legal analyst, Whitney Boan, joining us live to talk about all of this. Whitney, good to see you.
Good morning, Bob.
How do you have a status hearing when the status is so up in the air? What's going to happen?
Oh, goodness. Well, this is a very interesting issue because there's a lot at play here. There's the issue of what the governor's powers are, what the powers of a state attorney are who's been elected by the people to be the state attorney, and how the two interplay. And then add into that the death penalty and Markeith Loyd. So what I think will happen today is that Judge Lawton first is going to have to decide whether or not he can even decide this issue. In other words, there's some authority that maybe this issue should be decided by the Florida Supreme Court when it comes to whether the governor has the power to take a specific state attorney off of a case or not. But I do know this. I know that whatever ends up happening, I think that they're going to have to keep going with the proceedings because he has not waived his right to speedy trial, Markeith Loyd, that is. And so there's a lot at stake here. That should be the tantamount interest over the political infighting that appears to be going on between the governor and Ayala.
So how does the case against Markeith Loyd continue to move forward when there's two different prosecutors trying to move forward?
Well, legally right now what's happened is that Judge Lawton is going to have to let Brad King, who Governor Scott appointed to handle the case, move forward with the case right now. Okay. Ayala can challenge that. And in some of her earlier pleadings, she even said she would kind of allow Brad King to go ahead and do what he needed to do, have access to the files, to whatever resources he needed within their office to move forward with the case so as to not hold it up, acknowledging that Markeith Loyd has not waived his right to a speedy trial. So there's not two state attorneys on the case right now, but Ayala is challenging what Governor Scott has done. And it's an interesting issue because a lot of people are actually calling for Ayala to be removed from office because she's taken the stance now that she's not going to pursue the death penalty in any case.
Yeah, that's a whole other matter.
A whole other matter.
But essentially the case wouldn't change moving forward if either state attorney was on the case. It would all proceed basically the same. She just can't, at this point, you know, jump up out of her chair and say, I object or whatever, right?
Yes, Bob. She needs to... you know, she needs to adhere to what the court is going to do in terms of trying to move forward with this case, whether she likes what Governor Scott did or not. At this point in time, she's technically not the state attorney on the case.
Do you think, I'm almost out of time, do you think Markeith Loyd continues to defend himself? And if not, does he get just a public defender? What happens?
Well, right now he's maintaining that he wants to defend himself, and he has a constitutional right to do so. The issue at this point is whether or not Judge Lawton is going to appoint an expert to determine if he's competent to waive his right to stand by counsel, which means an attorney who would be there to help explain the rules and procedures of the court to him, but not make strategy decisions.
Whitney, I'm sure that there's other people who got other questions for you, might want to reach out to you on social media, so forth. Is there a way to get in touch with you?
You can find me on Facebook with my law firm, Whitney Boan, B-O-A-N-P-A, or you can look at my website, boanlaw.com.
Okay, we're good. Whitney Boan, always good to talk to you. Thanks.
Good to see you, Bob.
All right, you too.